How to actually become more productive. So, I was scrolling through Reddit. This is something I used to do back in the past. I used to go on Reddit and just try to look at other people's productivity questions or their insights, rank them, check them out, give my 2 cents, provide some feedback. And I want to do this again, but I want to do it publicly on YouTube. The reason why I'm doing this, and I used to do this back in the past, but the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm sure a lot of the questions that people have are common questions that a lot of people have. So my thought process is, if I answer a specific question, I'm sure other people have that exact same question, and I can just answer it for a lot of people. Basically, the reason why I'm doing this is, as the top productivity coach in Northern Virginia, I like it when people get good productivity advice. I think there's a lot of terrible productivity advice that exists out there. And so what I hope to do is sort of mitigate all the negative productivity advice by giving stuff that's actually beneficial, that you can actually benefit from, that's objectively valuable for you, that you can implement into your life. So that's my goal with doing these. And I came across this one the other day. So this one is from the Redditor Dr. Melbourne. And his question is, people who significantly improve their productivity, how did you do it? A lot of seemingly promising methods are actually useless. Method matters. Those who significantly improve their productivity, how did you do it? And he gives a little smiley face. He's very optimistic and happy, which is fantastic. So I want to give my 2 cents on this. First of all, in order for you to be productive, you got to know what productivity actually is if you want to actually be more productive. And that's the issue I think a lot of people have. A lot of people don't truly understand what productivity actually is. I think in a lot of people's minds, productivity for them is sort of just the idea of knocking out as much as possible in a single day. Or they think it's just, completing as many goals as possible in a week or a few days. And I think that's the wrong way to approach it. Productivity, the way I always see it, is just objectively making progress towards a large goal. That's it. If you have a goal and you're making progress towards it, that is productivity. Those actions you're taking to get from point A to point B is productivity. Now, for a lot of people, they're unproductive because they either have no goal. You can't make progress on something that doesn't exist, right? So if you have no goal, you're automatically unproductive. Or the other issue I see is you have a goal, but you're doing things that aren't contributing to your goal. So you're kind of just all over the place. It's kind of like if you're an entrepreneur or a young busy professional, you might have sort of, it's almost like when you see an entrepreneur that has shiny object syndrome. They have an idea of where they want to be, but they're chasing far too many things. Or they're doing way too many things out of order, and it's not leading to the long-term results that they want. And a year goes by, 2 years go by, a decade goes by, and they haven't gone anywhere. They're still exactly where they were when they first started. That's being unproductive. So we want to eliminate that. And the first way is by understanding what productivity is. So that's my first suggestion. Second suggestion, you got to know the value of your time. Now, I've done other videos where I've explained how to calculate the value of your time. My 2 cents is this. No matter who you are, you need to have an idea of what your hourly rate is. You need to have an objective value of your hourly rate. So for some people, that might be $10 an hour. For other people, that might be $50 an hour. Depending on where you're at in life, that could be $100 an hour. Whatever that hourly rate is, know it and abide by it, because that's going to determine how you plan out your entire day. And that leads me to number 3, schedule your day. Now, these two go hand in hand, because if the value of your time is high and you want to make sure you're getting the most value out of each hour, then you need to be doing high value activities. If you're the kind of person whose hour is worth $100 an hour, it doesn't quite make sense to do things that are worth $5 an hour. Now, does it? And let me give you an actual example. Let's say you are a business owner, and let's say, again, your time is worth $100 an hour. Should you be taking meaningless phone calls, like just meaningless sales calls? Probably not, in my personal opinion, because that can probably be outsourced to somebody else that can easily make any big decisions in your place. And if you're spending your entire day just taking random phone calls, it prevents you from doing the big things that matter the most, like running your business or trying to scale the business or trying to create systems for the business so that way the business functions more appropriately. Does that make sense? This doesn't just apply to business owners, by the way. I have another example. A few years ago, I used to work as a real estate agent. And I remember going to this convention, and this is a convention only for real estate agents. And I remember there were quite a few real estate agents that were making well above six figures. And this one guy came up. His name was Will Smith. I'll never forget this name because it's a very memorable name for obvious reasons, if you live in America at least. And he said, how many of you make over 100K per year? See a few hands raised. How many of you guys pay your child or other people to work for you? Almost none raised their hand. And his thought process was, why not? One, finance aside, but it's a tax write-off to do so. Two, the value of your time is at least $50 an hour, at least, because they make six figures. So it's at least $50 an hour. But is it worth it to you to go around maybe answering emails all day that you could probably hire an assistant to do for $10 an hour or $15 an hour? Is it worth it to go walking around subdivisions, knocking on doors all day, when you could probably hire someone to do this for $20 an hour, $25 an hour? Is it worth sitting there writing postcards all day for hours at a time when you could hire your son or your daughter or your cousin or someone else to do the exact same job for $7 an hour, $8 an hour, $10 an hour, whatever? So the point was, once you kind of understand the value of your time, you need to schedule your day accordingly, but you need to make sure that you're not doing activities that are worth less than what your time is worth. And then when it comes to scheduling your day, most people just don't schedule their day at all. This is why they aren't productive. They don't plan their day for success. Anyone that you know of that has any amount of success has some kind of structure to their day. They plan their day out. They don't do things randomly or haphazardly. There is some organization to their lives. Now, I would say the fourth thing I would suggest, less is more. A lot of people, again, this kind of goes into what I said earlier. A lot of people think that being productive just means doing things all day, every day. It just means like always being like hyperactive the entire time as much as possible. This is not productivity. What I've personally found is that less is more. Sometimes just doing one thing a day, making one good decision a day, is far better than trying to make 10 inferior decisions every single day. Does that make sense? I saw a good speech with Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon. And he said if he makes one good decision per day, that is a fantastic day. That is all he needs, is one good decision per day. Now, if a billionaire of a multi-billion-dollar company that is essentially world-renowned, if he thinks making one decision per day is all that's necessary, do you not think that this would apply to your life? Do you not think that if you made one good decision per day, it would dramatically benefit your life? Number 5, the fifth thing I recommend, forgive yourself. I think we do this very toxic thing of having this overactive imagination. We have an idea of what we want to be true, and when we don't meet that expectation, we feel bad for ourselves. We feel like a failure. I think the most important thing is to curate your expectations. Understand that what's in your head might not be the case. It might be imaginary. And understand that, say for example, if you have a business idea, you might have a business idea and you might act on that business idea. Don't be upset when you don't make money after a week. You may have saw someone online that may have lied to you and said that you can make lots of money in a week, but that's not reality. So you have to curate your expectations versus reality more effectively. And I think once you do that, you will be able to work more consistently. I won't say longer because longer sounds like working, 12 hours, 15 hours a day. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you want to be able to be consistent in whatever it is you're doing. You want to be able to work for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, maybe 10 years if it requires that much work. But the problem is that a lot of people have such unrealistic expectations that when they don't meet those expectations quickly enough, because they're fake expectations, it's not reality, they give up or they quit. Another quick example, it's like going to the gym for the first time and expecting to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger after a year. It's not going to happen. Unless you take like steroids or something, it will not happen. But if your expectations are that it will happen, and after a year it doesn't happen, you're going to be very disappointed and you're going to be very upset. And you may quit the gym and never go back ever again. That's a mistake. Instead, it's better to tailor your expectations and understand that you might gain a little bit of muscle the first year. You might gain a little bit of muscle for the first 5 years. But it's almost impossible to look like Arnold under ordinary means, unless you do steroids, unless you have really good genetics, but those are outlier scenarios. Hopefully that example made sense to you. And the final thing, this is what I recommend to improve your productivity. Use leverage and optimization as much as you possibly can. A lot of times people try to do, and this kind of goes back to what I said earlier when it comes to knowing the value of your time, but a lot of times people try to do too much on their own, and it's unrealistic. You can't do everything on your own. You only have 24 hours in a day like everyone else does. And at some point you need to give some work to other people so they can do it on your behalf. Now, nowadays you can use things like tools, AI agents, different software that'll make things quicker, or that'll outsource some of the activities that you have, depending on what industry you're in or depending on what your goals or objectives are. But no matter what you're using, you can't do everything alone. You need to outsource some of the work that you have to other people or to other softwares or to other pieces of technology in some way, shape, or form. So that's my advice. Those are my sort of 6 tips on how to actually become more productive as someone who has significantly improved their productivity. If you're interested in learning more, or if you have any personal problems, feel free to reach out. Like I mentioned, feel free to reach out. My name is Lenny Richardson. I'm the owner of Productivity Accelerator, and the whole mission behind my company is to help young busy professionals get more done in less time. One of the main things I recommend if you do want to become more productive this year is to first understand the value of your time. I mentioned this earlier. If you don't know the value of your time, I have a quiz down below. It'll take you less than a minute, and it'll tell you exactly what the value of your time is, and it'll give you a customized roadmap to help you bump yourself up to the next level as quickly as you possibly can. So if your time is worth $10 an hour, it'll help you get to $20 an hour or $25 an hour. If your time is currently worth $25 an hour, it'll help you get to $50 an hour. It'll help you do that in the quickest time frame possible. So click the link below. It's 100% free, super short. It'll take you less than a minute. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click the like button. Feel free to share this with someone else that might enjoy it as well. And I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.